All right, this is just a short introduction. I don't have all the answers. If you want to do something like this permanently, I'd probably ask Joe or Michael, Alaskan Sun. They probably have both have macro packages already set up to do this. And I don't know how to do this in elevation, only in plan. So I've got just a short section of stairs here. I'm going to pick this leader line. It doesn't have to be the center. It can be anywhere. I'm just going to pick up the center and come over here. And then in this text box, I'm going to click macro. I'm going to click user defined. And then there's this object properties macro. And that comes with the program. That's something that Chief has given us. Joe has published his version of this, and I think they do some different things. I think he's got a couple of different versions, but anyway, you can put the object properties macro in there and just say OK. And then the text box fills up. I'm going to switch this over to left justified. The text box fills up with all the stuff that you have access to. And there's a bunch of it. It tells you the layer set. It tells you the length. It tells you the newel size. It just tells you a whole bunch of stuff. But we're going to go down here and look at steps. Chief thinks that there's 6 steps here. I count 5. No matter how I count this, I cannot find 6 steps there. And then underneath steps, they're talking about risers and treads. So I'm not sure what they're talking about. But let's say that we want the tread size. Let's say that we want to add that to our label. So I'm going to come back up here. We're going to do this again. I'm going to paste because I've already done this. I wish I could blow this up so you could see it. Let's see here. Let's see what that does. Yeah. Okay, so that macro that I wrote right in here starts with a percent, ends with a percent. That macro pulls this value right here out of the stairs. And this is what that macro says, so you can read it. Steps 0 dot tread size. So if you come back here and you look down in here, let's go down here to steps. You can see here's that bracket 0 bracket. So you could find you could find any of them. They're going to be the same, but you could go find any of these, and you could find any of these values in here. Let's say we want the top height. So I'm just going to say percent top underscore height. Percent. 156.375. Now most of us are gonna want that in probably inches, fractional inches, not decimal inches, and so you'd need to convert that. But just real basically, that's what you do to get information about stairs. Like you said, there's no label for them. So you have to do this. You have to use a bleeder and looks like you can even use the invisible line style on the leader. People used to complain about this, when you do this, things getting disconnected, but I think that Chief has worked on that over the past couple of versions and made it happen less often or not at all. You know, so you can go in here and put text in front of that. So again, this isn't intended to give you a solution. This is just giving you a little idea about where to start and what to look at. There's a whole bunch of Ruby and macro type information in the forum. It's just not consolidated. Chief has refused on multiple occasions to create a separate area for discussions about Ruby and macros. They think it's, you know, they think the users can't figure that out, but and so it makes it where you just have to search, and so many times the discussions morph into something like this. You know, people ask a question in a kind of an unrelated thread, and it'll turn into something about Ruby or a macro, and that's not always easy to find because it's buried in another thread somewhere. So anyway, I've got a bunch of well, not a bunch. I've got some videos on my YouTube channel that talk about some of this stuff in general. I've posted some stuff in tips and techniques about this. You can look in there. And I'm not talking about stairs and specifically. I'm just talking about this kind of stuff in general. So anyway, again, a plug for Michael, Alaskan Sun, Joe. I think they both have packages that they'll sell you that automatically do a bunch of this stuff and make it so you don't have to know about it. And also make it so that you've got something that works to look at. So if you want to learn going forward, it's a good resource.